My body looks completely different and I'm completely different. Grown into who I was always meant to be. In my mind, it was always like, just lose the weight. People, start saying things, you look so good, what are you doing? And it can really affect your mental health and your body image. And then as this journey has kind of unfolded over the last 5 years, it's like, it's not just about being skinny. I never imagined how much growth I've had in like every aspect of my life. When I first was going into January 1st, I thought I'll do 2, 2, and 2. When you lose weight, it's good so people compliment you.
If you try to do everything you are doing today back in 2020, you would have given up on
right away. First. Yeah, my body composition was changing, losing more weight, also prioritize mental health. It's hard to say no. Never imagined it would be something like this 5 years later.
Hello and welcome. In this video, I am sitting down with my best friend, Samantha, and she is going to share a little bit about her journey over the last 5 years. 5 years ago, for New Year's, she set a resolution to improve her health. And from then until now, she has continued to stick with it, to build on it, and to change not just her physical health, not just her emotional health, but all aspects of who she is, how she lives, and she has never looked better, felt better, or been a better friend. This video, she is going to share her story. We're going to talk about why her change has worked for her and some of the challenges that happen when we make lifestyle weight loss changes and her little tips and tidbits that have helped her 5 years down the road. Samantha, without further ado, you ready?
Yes.
We ask questions all the time, so this is
this is easy.
So 5 years ago,
yep,
you set this New Year's resolution.
Yes.
Take us back to like just before that. What was the thing that like led you to wanting to set that New Year's resolution?
End of 2020, I was just not feeling like this was how I was supposed to feel, I guess. I was just kind of knew there was more for me and that there was more for my growth. And it was near the end of 2020. So my thought was, like a lot of people think going into the new year, let's set a New Year's resolution and change that. My New Year's resolution going into 2021 was for a lifestyle change. That was the term I used for it. And then going into 2021, that's what I did. And then over the last 5 years, that's what I've done.
And before we go into your story, I just want to reiterate in this phase, because I think that's one of the things that made it possible for you to continue to do this 5 years down the road, is that you did use that terminology.
Yes.
Which we've talked about before.
Yeah.
Like, what was the reason why you chose lifestyle change over I'm going to lose X amount of pounds, or I'm going to, like, whatever other wording you could have used? Do you know what the thing was that?
Yeah, it's funny because I don't think at the time I was really thinking about the term and what that would actually mean for my journey, the term lifestyle change. It was just honestly something that right off the bat is kind of what I ended up using and like what my resolution was. And I think it was because it wasn't something that it was going to be a lifestyle change. I wanted to change my life, and it wasn't going to be something that was a certain amount of pounds or, work out more or these like things. It was a lifestyle change. And I don't know if it was like conscious or subconscious of like what that term was, but I'm so grateful that I ended up using that term because it was something that I carried throughout the 5 years of a lifestyle change. And that's what I did.
Do you feel like, this is kind of a side, but do you feel like any part of it would have been because of like witnessing moms and people like go on diets and like just that like underline of like, I don't want to be someone who goes on a diet and like doesn't stick with it? Do you think like that had anything to do with it?
Yeah, maybe.
That's
like
just me getting curious.
Like maybe. And I do think at that time I was already working out. So I knew I was like, it wasn't just going to be a diet because I wanted to keep the working out, and we'll kind of get into like my kind of phases of over the last 5 years and what that looked like. But maybe that was something in my head that was like, I don't want it to be like this. I want it to be, I'm going to change everything and do it like that.
Breaking point, or it was just like, I'm deciding to do this?
Yeah, like I just didn't feel good.
Yeah. Was done with that.
I was just done with that feeling. I just did not feel good. Yeah.
You set this New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
What came from there?
Yeah. So I started off very uh, like a very attainable and sustainable changes in my life. So I changed small aspects of my diet. And for the first 4 months, when I first was going into January 1st, I thought I'll do these 2, 2, and 2. So it was only eat out twice a week, walk twice a week, and work out twice a week. And in my mind, I was like, that's something that I can do. That's sustainable, it's attainable, it's manageable, and I can comprehend doing that every week. And I did that for the first about 4 months. And then after that, I started focusing, I was still working out and going on walks. And then I started focusing on tracking my calories in, calories out, my macros. And I did that for about 2 years. And then after that 2 year period, I had lost, quite a bit of weight, but I hit a plateau, not just in like weight loss, but just in my journey. I just felt like I was kind of stagnant and didn't really know where to go from there. And then that's when I came to you. And
you have that best friend.
Yes. And we did the work again, like skyrocketed from there. Like my body composition was changing, losing more weight, and then also started to eat more whole foods and looking at ingredients in foods and not just focusing on the calories in and out, but actually like what's in the food that I was eating. And that's been over the last kind of 2 years, and even more within like the last year. I'd say within like the last year, I kind of realized that, I had been, losing the weight. I feel really good about my body and I feel really good about my physical health, but also prioritize mental health and going on that journey within the last year as well. And now, I can happily say 5 years later, I have completely changed as a person for the better. And when I say that, I don't mean that, I'm a totally different person that, isn't who I always was. This is someone who I've just grown into who I was always meant to be. And it feels amazing.
Okay. So you went on this journey.
Yeah.
You set the intention.
Yeah.
Set your New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
In those first 4 months, you took the baby steps.
Yes.
Which I think is something that's really important, that I feel like as other people are setting their New Year's resolutions or potentially like reflecting on maybe why their New Year's resolutions haven't worked or the ones that have worked,
right,
is a really important piece to acknowledge.
Yeah.
Because when we take too big of steps,
yeah,
when we try to do everything, like
yeah,
if you try to do everything you are doing today,
yeah,
back in 2020,
yeah,
you would have given up on February
right away.
1st.
Yeah.
You would have been that gym rat that's there for a month and then never see them until next January. And what you did instead was you focused on those small steps, maybe consciously, maybe unconsciously.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is what I feel is doable. This is what's going to help me to get to where I want to go.
Yeah.
And that helps us, just a little nervous system perspective, to stay within our nervous system's capacity.
Right.
So we're not overwhelming. We're not throwing too much at you too quickly and
right,
then ending up doing nothing.
Yeah.
We are staying within sustainable, I call them 1% or baby steps, to be able to get to the places that we want to get to while staying sustainable, while staying within that capacity. And then you started tracking calories in, calories out.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really important, so many people focus on that alone.
Yeah.
And it was working.
Yeah.
Right? You were getting that weight loss that you were striving towards.
Yeah.
But you hit a point where this is no longer it.
Yeah.
And that's where, when you came to me, we had to look at what else is going on here. Because she's working out, she's eating good, decent foods.
Yeah.
Where is her body not able to let go of the weight?
Yeah.
And in your experience specifically, we were focusing at that point on making sure your body could actually digest and absorb the foods that you were eating.
Yeah.
So not just like, oh, I'm eating this good food, but can your body actually utilize the food?
Yeah.
Are we pooping? Because if we're not pooping properly, we're just reabsorbing toxins, which is creating more stress on the body. Are the liver and kidneys working? If our liver and kidneys aren't properly detoxifying, aren't able to properly detox and eliminate toxins from the body, the body won't let go of weight.
Right.
Because whenever we lose weight, we start to mobilize toxins. And if the body doesn't have the capacity to move that out, it's not going to let go of any more weight. There was another aspect of health that needed to be addressed,
right?
Not just the physical.
Exactly.
You had that on board, then it's the next thing. And then I think the cool thing that you spoke to in that place is that that's when you started to also focus on the quality of the foods that you're eating.
Exactly.
Which I feel like is not looked at enough when people go on these New Year's resolutions, weight loss, any kind of health journey. So much of the world diet culture emphasizes just focusing on the amount as opposed to the actual nutritional value. And when you're eating foods that don't have enough nutritional value, your body doesn't metabolize that and utilize that the same way as when you have foods that have a high quality nutritional value.
Yeah.
So even though like potentially you're eating the same calories as you were before that, your body's utilizing those calories in a different way.
Yeah.
And then after that phase, once you had real strong foundations of what you're eating, once you had real strong foundations of your lifestyle, once you had real strong foundations of how you're moving your body, then you got to build the mindset piece of it. Then you got to do the work of, okay, I look good, but how do I actually feel?
Yes.
How do I actually think about myself?
Yeah.
And I think that is a pretty fantastic part of it.
Yeah, like I didn't even realize how much growth I would have personally when starting the journey 5 years ago. Again, like I said, a lifestyle change, and I knew I didn't feel great going into that. But yeah, the underlying kind of thing was weight loss. And looking back now from now until here, I just could have never imagined how much growth I've had in like every aspect of my life. Within the last 2 years, I think too, I really started to focus. I had done like my health change with my food and what I was eating, and really transitioned that and found what worked for me, and am still finding what works for me, and trying new things, and like fell in love with going to the gym and going for walks. And that really, from what turned into like 5 years ago, which was 2 days a week, has like completely changed to just now part of my life, like again, part of my lifestyle. And it's just routine. It's not like, okay, I got to go to the gym twice a week, like 2 times this week. It's just now part of like my everyday life. And same with my, like the food I eat as well. It's not like, what do I have to eat this week so that I'm like healthy, or what do I like have to, do this week. So it's just now like part of life, and which is like the full lifestyle change. It doesn't feel like that where it's like, what do I have to do this, or what should I be doing? It's now just like life. Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. And I wish everyone in the world can hear you say that.
Yeah.
You started small enough.
Yeah.
You took small enough steps.
Yeah.
Built each of those steps. Okay, 2 days a week at the gym. I can do 2 days a week at the gym.
Yeah.
And then to the place now, fast forward years later, where it's like, I think it was a couple weeks ago, and you said you went to work in the morning without going to the gym. You're like, I couldn't function.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, like, my brain's not awake yet.
Yeah.
It's become who you are.
Yeah.
It's not a question of when I go to a party and there's, I don't know, a bowl of chips.
Yeah.
It's not a question of, oh, I shouldn't be eating that.
No.
It's like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I just don't want that. And maybe there's a day where you do and you have some, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But you've changed who you are.
Yeah.
Instead of achieved some sort of goal. Which again, bringing us back to the place of like, what's made it sustainable?
Yeah.
What's made it not just something you do, but who you be and who you are.
Yeah.
And probably why you look so freaking good at
the
same time.
Yeah.
Where did the things start to feel like, what pieces felt overwhelming, and how did you like combat that? Because overwhelm is, from a nervous system perspective, one of the things that stops us from being able to do the things we want to do. It's too much too quickly.
Right.
We go into fight or flight, and then we drop down into freeze. That's a bit of the science behind it. And once we get into freeze, we stop and we don't do anything else, which is not a lot of people talk about that when it comes to goals.
Right.
Hence why we take baby steps. But what pieces of that felt overwhelming or felt like, oof, this is a bit too much?
Maybe a couple things. I think one, too, with social media and what you hear online, again, like almost like telling you what you should be doing, kind of what you touched on with like this time of year too, but just anytime, like, eat this, do this, all this stuff, which,
So let's pause right here. The constantly scrolling and having a million people tell you what you should and should not do, overwhelming for anybody.
Yes. Yeah. all live such busy lives now. And I think at that time too, and now I don't feel this as much, but at that time it's planning the meals ahead of time, or coming to someone's house or going somewhere and bringing your own stuff, what that looks like, how you manage that. And also too, I don't want to, at the time, I feel like maybe I didn't want to, I don't know, like be like, I don't want to eat what you're eating. Like, I don't know, like it's kind of almost like a, yeah, like it made me like anxious about it,
Yeah,
and uncomfortable. Yeah. Like uncomfortableness almost.
Yeah.
And I think that was like a big part of it. And I think too, saying no, which is also hard, like for me, and I think a lot of people, like no, I don't want to go out for lunch and go there, or no, I don't want that, or things like, or even with drinking, it's like, no, I don't want to drink, things like that. It's hard to say no. Yeah. So I think that was like a lot of overwhelming too, like how am I going to say no, or how am I going to approach this? I think too, because I do get joy out of going out, being with my friends. I like to go out to the bars. I like to dance. I like that social aspect. So too, like the drinking thing was definitely something too, where it was like hard for me, because I was like, what is this going to look like for me if I'm not, like, I still want to go out, like,
and there's an identity around
but there's like an identity around that, because I like something I enjoy, and it was like, well, what does that look like now? So that was also like something too, where it was, like overwhelming, like am I just like going to be a completely different person? But that's not what's happened.
Yeah, you've been able to find
the balance. Yeah,
going out and doing the things that you want to do.
Yep.
Whether you drink or not.
Exactly.
Or not going because it's not what you want to do.
Exactly. I would say probably 2 years into my journey, after I had lost a significant amount of weight at that time, people, start saying things, you look so good, what are you doing? Like all these things. People are, asking my friends, my family, me about these things. And it can really affect your mental health and your like body image, because it does make you kind of question, well, like, how did I look before this? I never felt this way about my body. I mean, like I said, like I did always have this thing, like I wanted to lose weight or be skinnier, but I was just as confident as the size I am now. Like I was just as confident as I was at my biggest. I wasn't my full glow and full in my whole body, mind, and soul. But as for actual body image, I was. And then I didn't have any body shame.
Yeah.
And yeah, probably like 2 years into my journey, I started to feel that, even though I was where I thought I was like,
you're getting healthier.
I'm skinnier. Like I should have more confidence. I should have like no body shame, like whatever. And I actually had more. And that was really difficult for me to kind of, and I know we had like a lot of conversations about it, and just people saying, it's great to get compliments and things, but when it is specifically about your weight, it can just be a very big mind, like puzzle, which was a hard chapter to get through.
What do you think helped you in that season?
That's an interesting question. I'm trying to like think back to that time. Was like reminding myself that like the weight loss culture, and like you lose weight and that's good. And when you lose weight, people like it's good, so people compliment you.
It's like a thing for them.
It's like a thing for them as opposed to me. Yeah. And I think that really, just reminding myself of that throughout that time.
Because most of the people, and like I don't know how many people complimented you, but the people that I saw complimenting you were the people who were, the moms of diet culture.
Yes.
Like they're the ones who were like in Weight Watchers and like did the Jane Fondas and like all that stuff.
Exactly.
When you first started this journey to now, now sitting here today, what are the things that you feel like have surprised you the most on this path?
In my mind, it was always like, just lose the weight. Mm-hmm. And then as this journey has kind of unfolded over the last 5 years, it's like, it's not just about being skinny or like losing the weight. As you lose weight and like you feel like you're like, you're getting skinny, you're getting skinnier, you're like, I want to be like strong, I want like to like have muscle, I want to like have all these things. And it wasn't just about losing weight anymore, it was
yardstick changes.
Yes. Yeah. I have changed like as a person, not only physically, mentally, just my whole self. But it's just been like I'm becoming the person who I always was and who I'm supposed to be, and just like fully myself. And I think that surprises me because, well, obviously you don't know the future, but also you just like, when I started this, it was just these small steps and it was all about weight loss. And I just never imagined it would be something like this 5 years later, that I would have be a completely different person. Like my body looks completely different and I'm completely different. Yeah.
And that is one of the, like, I'm in full body goosebumps as you said that. One of the coolest, most spectacular things that you get to go through, whether it's like for me, physical health issues or a decision to change your physique. How when you stick to the path and you make the lifestyle change, you make the health changes, how that leads you to not just changing what's happening, but to becoming who you truly are.
Hard journey. Like there's been ups and downs, there's been plateaus in not just, weight, but like everything, like just, where you just feel like you're kind of going through the motions and going through life in general. But I never felt like I wanted to give up, because even though I was going through those kind of like stages of life, or just life was happening, I knew that I was on the right path, and something always felt within me that this was like, everything else could be going wrong around me, but like this was the one thing that was going right, even if it was like didn't feel like it. I just knew that something in me was just telling me like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, this is how. And I felt those changes, whether they weren't quick, but I just knew. And I think that can be hard sometimes, because there are times where people feel like, again, it's too much, it's not attainable, they want to quit. And I think that's when you have to take a step back and see like, what's working for me, and what is going to work for me, and make those changes.
What's one thing, as people start their New Year's resolutions, what's one thing you'd suggest that helped you?
Right.
Talk about a few, but like, what's one thing that as they're like writing down what they're going to do, what's one thing you would say that would help to make it sustainable like it's been for you?
I think we've touched on this a couple times, but I think not making it a specific goal of a certain amount of weight or a certain specific thing. I didn't really have an end goal when I had my resolution. It wasn't like, I'm gonna lose this amount of weight in this amount of time and then I'll be done, or I'm gonna make a lifestyle change for like the first 3 months and then I'll be done by March, or by the summer this or that. It was something that was open and fully is, I guess, not something that was achieved by a certain time or in a certain way, I guess. For the last 5 years, I've lost over 75 pounds. It's been great. Like I had said before, I look completely different. I am completely different in like the most beautiful and awesome way possible. And I still have all my friends that I've been friends with throughout this whole journey. And they've been along with me for the ride, and it's been great, and I feel great.
So thanks so much for sitting down with me and sharing your story. I hope that this has inspired you, has taught you a little bit about how to make sustainable changes with your health, how to maybe not rush into things super quickly, how to focus on building maybe changing your terminology like Samantha did to talking about it being a lifestyle change as opposed to a quick goal. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for watching this video, for staying to the very end. If you have anything that you learned that was new for you, I invite you to leave it in the comments below. 1 word, 2 words. And we will see you next time. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Perfect. Woo!